Good, yeah.
Good morning, everyone. This is a very fine day here in our Commonwealth of Pennsylvania for Pennsylvania Rare Disease Advisory Council. On behalf of Life Sciences PA and the PA Rare Disease Advisory Council, thank you for being here. Thank you for recognizing and celebrate rare disease awareness. My name is Jennifer Wesco. I am the co-chair of Pennsylvania Rare Disease Advisory Council and founder and executive director of Wesco Foundation for Pulmonary Fibrosis, a foundation that was created in honor of my father, Ron Wesco, who passed away from this rare incurable lung disease called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis after years of being underdiagnosed. The rare community worldwide celebrates this day on February 29th. Get it? Leap year? But we in Pennsylvania do it a little differently. We wait until we can gather our legislators on one of the busiest days in the Capitol, sandwiched between the Big 33 and Music Appreciation Month. What better way we can do this? First, it is my honor to introduce our distinguished guests, many of whom you will hear from in a few minutes. Our Rare Disease Caucus co-chairs, Senator Judy Ward, Senator Maria Collette, Representative Gleim, Barbara Gleim, the Secretary of Human Services, Dr. Valerie Arkush, my colleagues on the council, and our legislators in our audience. Today is a very big day for our council. After 4 years with a national pandemic in the middle of it and 2 marketing launches of our survey, we are unveiling the results of our Rare Patient Needs Assessment Survey. This survey is believed to be the first statewide study of its kind in the United States, distinguished by its independence from pharmaceutical companies or research institutions. Our council has garnered a national reputation for innovation and strong collaboration with our bipartisan leadership, with our Rare Disease Caucus co-chairs, and our survey has been sought after model for many. We hope that the findings from the survey would help the Pennsylvania rare disease community make a compelling case for policy changes, research investments, and the development of healthcare infrastructure that addresses the unique challenges faced by those living with rare diseases. We believe that it has. We knew in order to bring out this change, and greater awareness for our community, we needed to supply the General Assembly and the governor's offices with data and observations, not just emotions or storytelling. Collaboration is an integral part of our success, and our partnership with Life Sciences Pennsylvania has played an integral part in our journey. As you will hear later, we could not have produced this survey without the support of Pennsylvania Healthcare Costs Council, otherwise known as PHC4. Our council owes its existence to the leadership of our esteemed emeritus council member, Joe Coyne, along with the dedicated efforts of former state representatives Marcy Topol and Mark Longgetti. When Joe's son was diagnosed with Batten disease, he told Representative Topol that it shouldn't be this hard, for these families dealing with rare diseases. Out of this shared conviction emerged the Rare Disease Caucus, a vital component of the awareness fostered by our initiative. We extended our heartfelt gratitude to our Rare Disease Caucus chairs for this unwavering support and exemplary leadership. This vision has top-down leadership in support of Pennsylvania rare community embodied in our next speaker. Please allow me to introduce Christopher Molyneux, President and CEO of Life Sciences Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Jen, for the introduction and for those very moving remarks. You even moved the lectern and caused the sign to fall. It's a pleasure and an honor for Life Sciences Pennsylvania to take part in Rare Disease Day. And it's wonderful to be back in person after so many years holding this program virtually. The Pennsylvania Rare Disease Advisory Council, the PARDAC, and Life Sciences Pennsylvania have been linked since the beginning. My former colleague, Craig Tucker, who passed away in 2018, was engaged in and was part of the effort to pass the legislation in 2017. This made Pennsylvania, at the time, one of only 4 states with a Rare Disease Advisory Council. As the home to the nation's first medical school, first hospital, first pharmacy school, first hospital dedicated to women, first hospital dedicated to children, it's only fitting that the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania should lead the way in innovation on behalf of rare disease patients and their families. Life Sciences Pennsylvania is the statewide trade association for the entire life sciences community that calls Pennsylvania home. Pharmaceutical companies, biotechnology, medical devices, diagnostics, research institutions, and our organization has more than 900 members, more than 50 of those working in rare disease research and development. Our members, that include patient groups as well, form an incredibly innovative ecosystem. And we like to refer to our community in that biology, that high school biology metaphor of an ecosystem, because truly every part feeds off the others and helps the entire community grow and succeed. Our mission at Life Sciences Pennsylvania is to create a business and public policy climate that nurtures that ecosystem and incentivizes the research and development of novel medicines and technologies for the ultimate beneficiaries, which of course are the patients. Because there are still thousands of diseases affecting millions of patients around the world that have no solution just yet. And those patients are counting on our researchers, our scientists, to accomplish their missions of solving unmet medical needs. We're very proud to have many of those components with us here today, and we're going to hear from our public officials on how we can continue to collaborate as a community with state government, with the PARDAC, to continue to advance innovation and address as many of those unmet needs as possible. I'd like to thank our sponsors. These are just some of the companies in Life Sciences Pennsylvania's ecosystem that are working in rare disease. But as I said, there are more than 50 companies just across Pennsylvania working on rare diseases. I'm happy to welcome our first speaker to the podium, someone who shares the same home county as I do, Dr. Val Arkush, the Secretary of Human Services. Dr. Arkush.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Chris, so much for that introduction. And it's a wonderful opportunity to acknowledge our Pennsylvania Rare Disease Day. On behalf of Governor Shapiro and the Shapiro administration, I'm happy to be here with each of you to advocate on behalf of the estimated 1.2 million Pennsylvanians that live with a rare disease. For those of you who don't know, I came to public service and to government service through medicine. I'm an obstetric anesthesiologist by training, and I also have trained in public health. Medical research, clinical care, and the opportunity they give us to advocate and work on behalf of our individual and collective well-being are very close to my heart. And they are why I stand before you today as Secretary of Pennsylvania's Department of Human Services. The Department of Human Services administers and oversees Pennsylvania's Medicaid programs, which provide life-sustaining and life-saving health care to more than 3 million Pennsylvanians, some of whom live every day with rare and chronic health conditions. It's my goal that this program continue to innovate and look for opportunities to strengthen and better coordinate care for the people we serve. And to achieve this goal, we must listen to the experiences of people who need and utilize care and actively seek opportunities to do more. The Rare Disease Advisory Council gives us this opportunity. This survey that will be released later today provides valuable insights into the experiences of rare disease patients in Pennsylvania. This is a group of patients that so often feels alone because there's very few people that are going through the same experiences that they are. And it's really critical that we have this survey data. It is not something that we've had available to us previously. We are committed to using this data to better understand and support our rare disease community. I'm very grateful for this council's work and the data and experiences that they have collected and are sharing on behalf of Pennsylvanians with rare diseases, so we may all continue to help and support our family, our friends, and our neighbors with rare diseases get the care that they need and the care that they deserve so that they can live healthy and fulfilling lives. I also want to give a shout out to Dr. David Kelly. He is the Department of Health's Chief Medical Officer for our Medicaid program. He participates and represents us on the Rare Disease Advisory Council, and he is committed and dedicated to building a Medicaid program that helps Pennsylvanians live healthier and richer lives, no matter their underlying conditions. We cannot do this work without advocacy. And so on behalf of the Shapiro administration, I look forward to working with each one of you as we continue to pursue these shared goals. Thank you for your work on this important survey, for your continued advocacy, and for the opportunity to be with you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Arkush. Dr. Arkush and I were speaking earlier before the program began, and she was just telling me how fulfilling her current role is, and she has been a true public servant advancing health for her entire career. So Dr. Arkush, thank you for joining us. Now I'd like to welcome another true public servant focusing on health, the Acting Secretary for Health, Dr. Deborah Bogan. Dr. Bogan.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to join you all today to highlight the work of the Pennsylvania Rare Disease Advisory Council. Congratulations on the completion of its first of its kind study on the needs of the rare disease community. And I thank to the members of the council for their hard work and dedication to get this done. I also want to thank the members of the General Assembly for their unwavering support of the council's work, including Senators Michelle Brooks, Judy Ward, Maria Collette, and Representatives Dan Frankel and Barb Gleim. As this audience well knows, although each of the diseases we are talking about today are rare, together, rare diseases impact the lives of more than 1.2 million Pennsylvanians. And rare diseases impact people of all ages, from infants and children to adults. But about 70% are identified in childhood. As the survey findings make clear, one of the biggest challenges people with a rare disease face is the time it takes to actually receive a definitive diagnosis, sometimes years. As doctors in training, we learn that when you hear hoofbeats, think horses, not zebras. That teaching is relevant. Of course, you should think of the common diseases first, but when the common diagnoses don't fit, you have to consider the rare ones, the zebras. As a pediatrician, I have walked this journey with many families over my decades as a clinical pediatrician. And I have seen firsthand and confirmed by this study that many people with rare diseases travel distances far and wide. They spend considerable funds, and they sometimes even have invasive procedures before receiving a correct diagnosis. And after that diagnosis is made, challenges still remain. The entire process can be isolating, frustrating, and difficult to manage physically, emotionally, and financially. That is why acknowledging the work of the organizations such as the Pennsylvania Rare Disease Advisory Council is so essential. They promote advances in research and science. They make it possible for people living with a rare disease to find experts, access care, and connect with others for comfort, support, guidance, and resources. So again, I want to take this opportunity to thank the Pennsylvania Rare Disease Advisory Council for their work, for conducting this one-of-a-kind study and survey and sharing those results to raise up the voices of all of those impacted by rare diseases. So again, thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
Thank you, Dr. Bogan. Thank you again, Dr. Arkush. Obviously, the administration is fully behind these efforts, and it can't be accomplished without the strong support of the legislature as well. It's my pleasure to now introduce and welcome to the lectern the Rare Disease Caucus co-chairs, beginning with Senator Judy Ward, after which we'll hear a readout of the Patient Needs Assessment Survey from PARDAC Secretary Brian Dawson. Senator Judy Ward.
Good morning, and thank you, Chris, for your continued support and advocacy for Pennsylvania's rare community. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be here today with my colleagues and all of you to raise awareness for our rare disease community in Pennsylvania. I have had the pleasure of working with the PA Rare Disease Advisory Council since 2019. And I would also like to recognize my other co-chair in the Senate, Senator Maria Collette, who is also a registered nurse, among other things. And she has been very helpful with the Rare Disease Caucus. Although the legislation passed and the first meeting occurred in October of 2017, this council has quietly and effectively been working to become a credible stakeholder voice for the rare disease community as a whole. Their solution to best determine the number of incidents and prevalence in the rare disease community in Pennsylvania was innovative and resourceful. The Rare Disease Patient Needs Assessment Survey has become a model for other rare disease councils throughout the country. This crucial step can help ensure that individuals with rare diseases receive the attention and resources necessary to enhance their quality of life and advance medical breakthroughs. Precise data on incidence and prevalence for the rare disease community, especially specific to a state, is nearly impossible, as no one can accurately quantify these numbers. However, this did not deter the council from moving forward. Accurate data on the rates of incidence and prevalence of rare diseases is fundamental for comprehending the true burden these conditions impose on individuals and society. Addressing health issues early is a critical first step. However, respondents indicated serious difficulty receiving a rare disease diagnosis after symptoms appeared. A staggering 45.2% of respondents endured a wait of 2 or more years after their initial symptoms, with 29.6% enduring a prolonged struggle of over 5 years before obtaining a diagnosis. The journey to diagnosis was marked by resilience, as 44.2% of participants visited 5 or more healthcare providers before receiving a final diagnosis. A notable 15.9% faced an even more arduous path, seeking more than 10 providers. 68.3% of survey respondents who received a final diagnosis 2 years after their first symptoms report seeing 5 or more healthcare providers before their final diagnosis. As a nurse, I met so many rare disease patients and their families who face similar challenges. So I wish I could say I was surprised, but I'm not. I saw this survey as a powerful tool to investigate the impact of rare diseases comprehensively. It provided an avenue for the rare disease community in Pennsylvania to have a voice and share their experiences, shaping PARDAC's future focus and initiatives. As you delve into the details of this survey on their website, let us recognize the new exploration of these findings and the hope it provides a map for guiding future advocacy efforts on behalf of the estimated 1.2 million Pennsylvanians with a rare disease. As the 6th most populous state and with a mix of rural and urban areas, it's unsurprising that transportation is a significant concern for participants. The state's unique blend of urban centers and rural expanses contributes to the complex transportation challenges faced by individuals managing rare diseases. Understanding the transportation challenges faced by individuals with rare diseases is pivotal for advocating for improved accessibility. About 3 in 10 travel more than 50 miles for health care, 50 miles. And that includes 15% having to travel over 100 miles and 11% having reported they must travel out of state. Nearly half, approximately 44%, highlighted challenges in mobility for appointments, work, or school within their communities. By recognizing the barriers and leveraging the strengths within our healthcare system, we can work towards a more inclusive and accessible healthcare landscape for rare disease communities in Pennsylvania. The findings did indicate that despite these transportation challenges, an encouraging 70% of respondents reported receiving some or all of their care within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. In fact, 2 hospitals in PA are recognized by the National Organization for Rare Disorders as Rare Disease Centers of Excellence. Penn Medicine and Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, as well as UPMC Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh Center for Rare Disease Therapy, are becoming beacons of hope for many individuals in the rare disease communities from Pennsylvania and across the country. These findings are important, and I look forward to working with my colleagues in both chambers, the administration, and the council to work on utilizing this data to make a difference for our rare community. And now I would like to recognize one of the House co-chairs, Representative Barb Gleim.
Good morning. As a co-chair of the Rare Disease Caucus, it is a pleasure to be with you today as we celebrate the resilience and tenacity of Pennsylvania's rare disease community. As you've heard, this report will provide valuable insights for my fellow colleagues from across the political spectrum, shedding light on the significant discoveries outlined in the Pennsylvania Rare Disease Needs Assessment Survey. It underscores our dedication to enhancing the well-being of Pennsylvania's rare disease community. PARDAC stands out not just in its composition, but its in unique attributes. Operating with a sense of urgency, the Council's deliberative, decisive, and empathetic approach to creating this survey positions them as a force for change. A key word here is empathy. As the survey shed light on what we know to be true about many rare disease families, their quality of life suffers greatly. And it is not just the patient, it's their whole family. I have heard from many of my own constituents and my own family members who live with rare conditions. I have family members with rare diseases and some who have passed. The insurance, the medical path is arduous, it's cumbersome, and extraordinarily expensive, putting families in debt for generations. Recently, a new movie came out called Ordinary Angels. If you haven't seen it, I'd just like to plug it because it's about a single dad who needs the help of the entire community to get his daughter to a specialist with a rare disease is truly amazing. And it's not just a movie, it actually has happened to people. So when you watch it, you are experiencing it. This survey delves into the economic challenges faced by the rare disease community, revealing that nearly half of respondents, approximately 46%, had to take unpaid leave from work just to get help. Almost 2/3 of respondents, approximately 64%, have been compelled to make significant sacrifices, leaving a job or reducing work hours because of the impact of their diagnosis. Alarmingly, 82% of respondents indicate that families have incurred personal costs related to caring for their rare disease, highlighting the economic strain. The potential reduction in economic security within the rare disease household is, if not already, approaching a potentially catastrophic reality. Behind these statistics are real stories of individuals facing tough choices, navigating the challenges of daily life, and making sacrifices in pursuit of their health and well-being. It is crucial to approach these findings with empathy and an understanding of the human side of rare diseases. This report allows one to hear a narrative often untold for the rare disease community, and I also am not surprised by the findings. I am sure you will see that we have come to know PARDAC's North Star, the well-sourced data set, can help shape future advocacy efforts. I look forward to working with the council members and my colleagues to advocate for this community. Thank you, and now I'd like to welcome Brian Dawson to the podium, who will give some more remarks on the issue.
Morning. My name is Brian Dawson, and I'm the Secretary of PARDAC, and I'm a Program Manager for the Samira Foundation. I'm also a rare disease patient who was undiagnosed, then misdiagnosed, and then received my correct diagnosis. Because my disease is so rare, it requires specialized knowledge that even within the world-class healthcare ecosystem of Pennsylvania, I have to travel to Boston to see a specialist. So I ask for a little bit of grace today because I'm flooded with a lot of emotions and a lot of memories. I used to work in the Forum building, and I could see my office windows when I was coming in today. But my illness eventually cost me my job. On St. Patrick's Day in 2015, I had just found out I was going to be reassigned as an acting deputy secretary. It was one of the proudest moments of my life. And even though I felt a cold coming on, I went out and celebrated with my family. A few weeks later, I moved into the new office and received my new responsibilities. But the cold kept getting worse. We tried allergy medications, we tried a few antibiotics, but couldn't seem to shake it. Finally, on the morning of April 15th, and usually when you hear April 15th, you know nothing good is coming. But on that morning, my wife had to take me to the emergency room because my vision was blurry and I was in terrible pain. Within 5 hours, I was blind in both eyes and I was paralyzed from the chest down. A few weeks later, I was finally given a diagnosis of neuromyelitis optica and told that I had 5 to 7 years to live. It turns out that my body went overboard when it was trying to fight that cold, and my immune system targeted my optic nerves and my spinal cord. A team of neurologists struggled to treat me, and the disease just ran rampant, each attack doing more irreparable damage to my body. After about 2.5 years of frustration, my doctors agreed to send me for a consult to a neuroimmunologist in Baltimore. 6 months later, the day finally arrived, and I was stunned to find out that my diagnosis had been wrong. I had a rare disease called MOGAD, and while it's similar to NMO, it responds better to different medications. The specialist also explained that the 5 to 7 year life expectancy that I was given was old, outdated misinformation. I was going to grow old with my wife and my children. There was 3 years of the wrong medication, 3 years worth of nerve damage, and 3 years waiting to die. There's no cure for MOGAD, and I don't have any approved medications for it either. And as ridiculous as it sounds, I'm one of the lucky ones. For me, this day has been coming for 9 years, But for our council and the 1.2 million Pennsylvanians that are living with rare diseases, this day has been a long time coming. We created the survey obviously out of need. The council came together, leveraged their expertise, personal experiences, and tenacity to meticulously design and beta test the survey. One of our former members, Dr. Connie DeLine, who's also a rare disease patient, led that effort. Our blood, sweat, and tears are woven into every page of the survey and the report. Once we successfully obtained the Institutional Review Board approval, we deployed the survey on a HIPAA-compliant platform. We utilized every resource available to us to share the survey through social media channels, legislative members, and an innovative While You Wait marketing campaign with our collaborative partners, the Kalari Group. We are fortunate to work with the Pennsylvania Cost Care Containment Council, or PHC4, who generously and rigorously analyzed the data. In the end, 1,222 rare disease patients or guardians responded to our call for information. Through their responses, they bravely shared their journey with us. All these responses are non-identifiable, and the findings underscore the urgent need for increased awareness, support, and advocacy. As you heard, the alarming observations included significant delays in diagnosis, mobility challenges, and economic burdens on individuals and their families. The numbers may not sound large to some people, but at this moment in time, for the first time, we can paint an accurate picture of the rare journey in marrying data to the heart-wrenching stories of Pennsylvania's rare community, quantitative and qualitative, pathos and logos. As we delved into the data, we did so with profound empathy, recognizing the significant impact that rare diseases have on their lives. Our findings resonate with the experiences of many, reflecting the diverse paths taken by those affected. Regrettably, approximately 49% shared that they lacked the indispensable counseling support that they sought. Equally disconcerting is the revelation that over 70% of the respondents were left uninformed about patient advocacy organizations or support groups at their time of diagnosis. They were just given life-altering information with no idea where to turn. And it reminds me of a plaque that sat on the desk of JFK that said, "Oh God, thy sea is so great and my boat is so small." So here we are. Our next step involves a collective effort working closely with Legislative Rare Disease Caucus co-chairs to better align with members of the General Assembly, agencies, and key stakeholders to become a credible and resonant voice. With increased support, we can leverage the survey's insights and implement targeted initiatives to raise public awareness and advocate for policies that tangibly improve the lives of those affected by rare diseases. The resounding commitment to making a difference echoed through every word of the responses, especially those who trusted us with their words and shared their vulnerable moments of their journeys. This commitment fuels our determination to drive impactful change for the rare disease community in Pennsylvania. Hope and resilience is possible on a statewide level. With the support of legislators, offices, agencies, stakeholders, and all of you, we can make a lasting impact by ensuring that the rare disease community in Pennsylvania receives the attention, care, and research it rightly deserves and that it needs. Our report can be found on our website at pardac.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. And I'll just again thank Senator Ward, Representative Gleim, for your leadership and support, and of course the administration, Dr. Arkuch, Dr. Bogan. That concludes our program today. We are going to have lunch with the legislators, I think across the hall, Kurt, is that right? Starting at noon. So we hope to see you there. Thank you again for joining us.